YouTube? So I'm out here off of Sunset again, coming from PCH in Pacific Palisades. I'll pull off right here on Salerno. We got concrete trucks out here. We got a lot more traffic coming in here now into these little residential areas. See if I can zoom out a little bit so you can see the devastation. This just goes for blocks and blocks and blocks. It's literally just miles and miles and miles of just thousands of houses that have been just completely demolished. Basically, as far as the eye can see. You know, you can imagine how many houses are on a square block, and these are multi-million-dollar houses. So, wow, look at that one. You got one standing. You can see the swimming pool. This is so terrible. Such a shame. Everybody put their life into these houses. Everything's gone. It's so sad. These were such beautiful communities. These were some of the most beautiful neighborhoods. Like, when I think American Dream, this is what I think. Pacific Palisades. Well, it's what I thought. This is a nightmare now. This is a disaster. You know, it really makes you wonder, you know, if you bought a house, you know, pre-COVID for, I don't know, a couple $1 million, $2, $3, $4 million, whatever. And then the value of your home, let's say you bought a home in Pacific Palisades for $3 million. So you got a mortgage for $2.5 million, a jumbo loan. Jeez. And then the value of your home basically just doubled, you know, in the matter of a couple of years because of what happened with COVID. You know, home prices just went through the roof. You know, interest rates got dropped to the floor and demand for housing went through the roof. Just unbelievable. So you bought a, you know, a $3 million house that now is worth $6 million. And you got mortgage insurance, they'll pay off the mortgage. So the insurance companies will pay off the $2.5 million that you owe. But what about all that equity? You know, all that equity is gone. And if you pulled out a HELOC, look at this guy just flying like a little drone. If you pulled out, he doesn't even, I wonder if he knows I'm here. If you pulled out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, you know, is that included in your mortgage insurance? I don't know. It's just crazy. It's unreal, man. Unreal. So many of these houses were under construction too, by the way. I would come all throughout here, you know. I would come all throughout here every day, really. And it seemed like every other house was under construction. And to me, that implies that, you know, a lot of people were pulling out. They were refinancing their mortgages, getting a low interest rate, you know. And more than likely, they were pulling out either a second mortgage, or they were pulling out some equity and remodeling their homes, you know. I wonder if they're still on the hook for that. if the mortgage gets paid off, what about the second mortgage or the HELOC? I don't know. I guess maybe it just depends on what type of policy you have. So I just did a quick little drive through one of those little residential neighborhoods. They just keep going and going and going, you know. It's just everywhere you look, it's just complete devastation. Everything's gone. So I'm back here on Sunset right now. And you know, it's supposed to be forecasted to rain for a couple of days, which is really going to cause some unforeseen challenges. You know, I remember back in 2017 or 2018 during the Thomas or Thompson fire, the fire did a tremendous amount of damage, but what did the most amount of damage was when it rained after the fire. There was a little town just south of Santa Barbara called Montecito, and it's a very wealthy community as well. It's a bit removed. It's about, I don't know, I want to say an hour and a half-ish, maybe 2 hours-ish away from Los Angeles, north of Los Angeles. And it's a tiny little sleepy surf community with a bunch of very wealthy people living near the ocean or alongside the hills. And you know, a lot of the homes were saved because the firemen did a really good job protecting the houses. But when it rained for about a week after the fire, and that created mudslides like I don't think anyone's ever seen. It was literally washing away houses, you know. There was probably boulders the size of semi-trucks rolling down hills. And I think they're still, to this day, people are still missing from that. You know, I don't know if they were just sleeping in their beds at nighttime and then all of a sudden just boom, the whole house got hit by a semi-truck rolling down the hill. At least Pacific Palisades, these people had some notice, I suppose. I don't know. There's going to be some mudslides coming up, though. Pretty bad ones, too. So, let's see what happens. I'm back here on Sunset. You know, and all of these businesses more than likely are going to be going out of business, too. You know, all these little Ruby Nails and the beauty center and the little, you know, pharmacy and the little, you know, a lot of these businesses are done too. Basically all of them when you think about it, because there's no people here anymore, and they're not going to be back here for years, really. This used to be the grocery store. I think it was I don't know if it was a Vaughn's or a Ralph's or a Gelson's, I forget. And they were actually, what was so funny, right before the fires happened, there was actually a lawsuit, because what would happen is in front of the grocery store, you would have a bunch of food trucks parked in the front of the grocery store, and you know, they would serve all of the the workers, the construction workers, and most of these people are, you know, migrants from Mexico. You know, most of them are illegals, to be honest. Like, whatever, it is what it is. All of these construction job sites, they're basically, you know, subsidizing construction costs with illegal labor. That's really what it is. So, you know, you can have your own opinion, but I see it firsthand. Yeah, anyways, and the Gelson's, or the grocery store, ended up suing one of those taco trucks. I think it was one of the little roach coaches, because it was creating a bunch of traffic and a bunch of trash in their parking lot, and it was, you know, people didn't really like it. And you had all the construction workers there early in the morning coming in to get breakfast burritos and stuff. you'd have a line of like 50 construction workers, and they're all illegals, you know, straight up. Like, they're all illegals. People could say what they want, but that's what they do, you know. A homeowner pulls out a bunch of equity from their house, right, and they call a general contractor. The general contractor gets the deal, and then he hires a bunch of little subcontractors. The subcontractor goes to Home Depot, picks up a bunch of paisas, you know, gives them a couple of t-shirts, and next thing you know, here they go. So, and that's the truth. No matter, and I'm not taking anything away from them. These are some of the hardest working people I've ever met. Like, some of these little Guatemalan guys, they're 4 foot nothing, but I look up to them like they're 10 foot tall, because they outwork everyone. They don't complain. They work hard, you know. So from an economic standpoint, they're good. They're good for the economy because they work hard, for sure. I mean, you got to give them credit where it's due. Are they here legitimately? No. Are they licensed, bonded, and insured? No. Everything they do is highly illegal. But they work. They'll show up at work at 4 in the morning, and they'll get off at 4 in the afternoon. You know? And they'll do it for $20 an hour. So, anyways. There was a guy back there flying a little drone. I wonder if he's like just flying around the neighborhood looking for, I don't know what he's looking for, but if it was an insurance guy or if he was just like a patrolsman or something, but pretty crazy. No water, there's no power. There's signs posted everywhere. Do not drink tap water. Kind of makes you wonder if are there going to be people who continue to build homes here? You know, I think they will. Yeah, probably. But it's going to take a long time. And the investors who do have, you know, the money to purchase these properties, they're probably going to pay all cash, and they're probably going to be super low ball offers, because that's really, there's so much risk associated with these properties now and these lots. There's so many unknowns. You know, what's the permitting process going to look like in the future? What's the infrastructure going to look like in the future? Will there be water in the fire hydrants in the future? You know, will the city be going bankrupt in the future? Will the insurance companies insure properties that are built there, you know, or houses that are built here in the future? There's so many question marks. But I do think that people will come in here, and I'm driving through one of those little neighborhoods. I saw a couple of lots that had for sale signs already, which was actually a bit crazy, eye-opening, really, when you think about it. And so many of these job sites, I drive through these little neighborhoods, and, you know, I used to deliver product to these houses. Some of these houses were like complete teardowns. They tore them down and they rebuilt them better. And now they're just completely gone. Like, they spent all that time and all that money and all that effort and years of right down the drain. Years and years and years of hard work and millions of dollars right down the drain. So, anyways. Well, that was just a little drive through, again, Pacific Palisades. I drove through a couple little residential neighborhoods just to get a little bit of insight. But the worst is definitely behind us. So, all right, guys, when I come back here, I got to drop off more, probably tomorrow, some more gravel, sandbags, and straw wattle, a bunch of stuff out to these job sites to get prepared for when the rain comes this week. I don't know if it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but I got a lot of work to do for tomorrow. So I'll post another video, and if things get pretty hairy out here, I'll post another one. So I'll talk to you guys later, brother. Later.